There are a lot of dumb criminals out there, but there are also some incredibly smart ones.
Let's talk about that. Good mythical morning.
Now, I don't have any intention on becoming a career criminal. I'm not much of a lawbreaker. I'm pretty much a law-abiding citizen. I'm kind of a good guy.
Pretty much?
I think you're pretty much a good guy also.
Pretty much.
Just occasionally break the law. But I think there's something fascinating about people who have been successful at committing crimes in a way that you have to admire the precision, the perfection, even if they, and we're not condoning it, but it's why we like movies.
It's Ocean's 11 type thing.
Yeah.
That's a great movie. That's my favorite movie of all time. Not really, but I got a kick out of the movie. Successful heist, spoiler alert.
Oh, please don't start that again. Okay, all right, so there's this French vacuum gang. The Vacuum Gang. Since 2006, there's an unknown gang in France that has been robbing the same supermarket chain, Monoprix.
A grocery store?
Yeah, it's called Monoprix. One race. Anyway, these guys discovered that envelopes of cash are funneled to the store safe using a pneumatic suction tube. Like they have at the bank. And so what they did is they broke in and they...
Or it's just a big guy in the vault going...
Yeah, they broke in, they drilled into the side of the pneumatic tube, attached a high-powered vacuum, and they sucked out all these envelopes of cash. And they've done this 15 times, and they've stolen almost $1 million.
It doesn't matter how impenetrable the safe is if you can just bore through the vacuum tube.
And put the guy who sucks on the tube, put him asleep or something,
Tranquilize him.
Yeah. But listen, they have been caught on the store's security cameras, but they've never been identified because they wear ski masks.
That is smart. No one's ever done that before. That's why they wear ski masks.
Well, you can't go through this crazy process and then be like, hey, dude, camera, closed circuit.
I'm more of a pantyhose guy myself.
You can still tell who you are through pantyhose, though.
No, I just like pantyhose.
Every time you put pantyhose on your head and try to surprise me, I always know it's you.
No, I just mean on women.
Okay, this guy, Carl...
It's like so smooth and
Gugasian.
bronze.
This guy is an American dude who... found banks, he targeted banks in small towns that were next to freeways. He has this whole system. Finds a small bank in a small town next to a freeway. He narrows it down to banks that close late during the winter months so he can escape in the dark. And he goes in there, there's like 5 minutes to close.
So a bank that doesn't keep banker's hours?
No. It's like in a certain climate, or it's during the winter where it starts getting dark at like 5 or 5:30, and then he goes in there at like 5:55.
Okay.
He goes in wearing a mask like from a horror movie, like Freddy Krueger was his favorite one. He runs in, jumps over the counter, makes all this racket. Everybody gets scared. He takes 2 minutes to get all the cash that he can get, and he gets out in 2 minutes. He runs into the dark, into some local woods where he drops the cash and the weapons off in a little place that he has set aside prematurely.
A hideaway.
He gets onto a motorbike. He takes the motorbike several minutes through the woods that he is like totally staked out. Goes to a van, drives up into the back of a van that he's put there, seals up, and then drives off. The guy did this for 30 years and stole $2 million total. But he was caught because some kids snooping around in the woods found...
We're in the van.
No, they found his stash, and it had his fingerprints on it.
Ooh, fingerprints. You got to put pantyhose on your fingerprints, man. That's where the pantyhose goes. It goes on your hand. Handy hose.
Maybe.
I could sell that.
We need to have an infomercial.
It's like
handy hose.
When you go in the bank.
Handy hose. You can't do anything with them.
You steal stuff with them.
Except clap.
When you go into the bank.
Silently.
Or wherever you're going to steal something, they should sell them right there at the door. So as you're walking in. And then if somebody buys it, oh, that guy's about to steal from us. He's buying the handy hose.
You know what's better than handy hose? Gloves.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because they have fingers.
The next guy, Albert Spaggiari, a French career criminal, best known for robbing a big bank in France in 1976. Now, this guy found out that the vault was in the basement, so he decided that he would dig underneath the bank from a nearby sewer system to access the vault. But before he did that, he opened a safety box himself and deposited an alarm that was very loud and vibrated really. It was an alarm clock that was a vibrating alarm clock. And he set it off inside the bank vault to make sure there were no seismic or acoustic alarms because he's going to be digging up around this thing.
Oh, right. And there weren't?
There weren't, so he continued. If the alarm clock had gone off and they had arrested him, I wouldn't be telling you this story. Or, they'd have been like, your alarm clock went off last night. Oh, yes.
Abort.
Sorry. I forgot that I left that in there.
Smart guy, though.
So he then hired a
Are
group...
you taking notes, people?
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't be.
Future criminals. He hired a group of professional gangsters and paid them to dig every day.
Professional gangsters.
Yeah, digging gangsters. You know the kind.
In the yellow pages.
Every day, digging gangsters wanted. He hired them every day for 2 months. He had rules. They had to get 10 hours of sleep a day. They couldn't have alcohol or caffeine because he wanted them to be totally on their game. He was like totally regimented.
10 hours of sleep. Were they sleeping in the cave?
I don't know, but they dug every day for 2 months, and they finally got to a long holiday weekend, and they got to the bank. They got to the vault, and they were like, okay, the bank's gonna be closed this weekend, over 3 days, the weekend and then a holiday.
Why can they not have caffeine? I don't get that.
I don't know, man. This dude was just regimented. And so then he says, then they break in over the weekend.
I think they were in the tunnel.
They break in over the weekend, and they go through 400 safety deposit boxes. They make off with 60 million francs worth of stuff. Then they get away, totally unscathed, but then one of the digging gangsters' girlfriends rats them all out. You cannot tell your girlfriends about these things, guys. You just got to do them in secret.
She's a gangster digger, which is a cousin of the gold digger.
What did you do today? I don't know. I was just, I got a little dirty, Hey, I don't know. I got a little dirty. But, it wasn't anything illegal.
I might have been getting in a bank. No caffeine, 10 hours of sleep.
So they turned everyone in, including Albert, the mastermind. Check this out. He's on trial. He's in there with the judge. He distracts the judge by giving the judge in the courtroom a encoded piece of evidence. I don't even know what that means, but he gave him an encoded piece of evidence. It distracted the judge, and while the judge was looking at it, trying to figure it out, dude gets up, jumps out the window, gets on a motorcycle that one of his friends set up for him, drives off on the motorcycle. He was never caught.
Gets in a van driven by kids.
No, there's no van in this one. Just motorcycle.
Should have had a van. Should have had a van.
So this got me to thinking. Now, we're not going to be career criminals, but if we were to create the perfect crime, what would it be? Because we've got some inspiration.
I've thought of a crime that I wanted to commit, but I haven't done it, for the record, and I'm not going to do it. So if it's ever done, it's only because I just told you how to do it. You know those fast food drive-thrus where you've got the...
Yeah, I know fast food drive-thrus. I'm familiar with that.
The specific ones where you order, then you pay at the first window, and then you drive to the second window and pick up your food.
The two-windowers.
I just think that you just park in the perfect spot, let them order, let them pay, and then while they're paying, just get in there and take their food. Free food for life, man.
That's why the drive-thrus are like totally like most of them are sealed off. You can't access that point.
You hand the person who's paying a piece of encoded evidence. There's a way to do it.
And then you bring your motorcycle in. It's like
you could be in the car behind them honking the horn when they're like, "What? I'm hurrying!" While they're saying, "I'm hurrying" to you, I'm scooping in front of them and getting their like McNuggets or whatnot.
Okay, this is okay. Here's my perfect crime. You go to one dealership and you do a test drive of a car. And then I go to another dealership and do a test drive of a car. We test drive the exact same car, and then we switch and put them at the other dealership. It's not really stealing anything. It's just like, it's a
the
joke.
old switcheroo. Usually one bag has money,
switcheroo.
One bag doesn't.
No, this is just for fun. This is just for kicks, man. Let's do it today.
I thought that mine was inconsequential, but at least I get something out of the deal. You know what time it is.
I'm Captain Young from Afghanistan.
I'm Captain Young from Kuwait. And it's time to spin the wheel of mythicality.
Okay, we're going to spin this great big green and white wheel of mythicality.
Stick around for good mythical more. That's after this, but it's just more of this. Kinda? A little bit? Game show host.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of How to Commit the Perfect Crime with
I'm your host, Albert Einstein. And you're also a host.
Albert Spaggiari.
Never before have there been two hosts of a show, except American Idol at first.
You know what?
There were two hosts.
You know how this is going to work?
Most game shows.
We're going to host this show for 1 year, and then you're going to ask for a little bit more money, and you're going to get turned down, and I'm going to go on to have an amazing career as the host of this particular show.
What's the name of this show? My neighbor's an ATF agent.
Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. Are you under the influence of tobacco? T and ATF should be for texting. Because who cares about tobacco problems?